random people. How are you all? Good. I'm not so great at the moment. That's why I'm disappearing off the bottom of the screen. Today, well, tomorrow, actually, I've got to have my colonoscopy. I have to go for a yearly colonoscopy. If you don't know what that is, that's probably a good thing. It's essentially a 6-foot camera that they shove up your bum and they have a look around. And I have to go for one every year because of various things, and they always annoy me because well, they would, to be honest. And so I've got that coming up. So as of a week ago, I haven't been able to take my painkillers because they're codeine based and they stuff you up. And if you have things that stuff you up, and then the MAGA laxatives I've got to take today, they kind of fight it out in your stomach, and I guess the poo can't go out your bum because that way's blocked, so you either end up projectile vomiting poo or it bursts out of your belly button. Those are the only two options that I can see, and I don't want that to happen. So I've had a kind of a week of being in pain, which isn't fun because, let's face it, paracetamol is a really pants painkiller. As of yesterday, I've been on restricted diet, which is low fibre. Last year, I could have cheese. This year, no cheese allowed. So I've essentially eaten white toast with jam on it. Oh, I had a bit of pasta last night. And so that's what I've been doing. And today, not allowed any fizzy drinks. I get my last meal at 12, and that'll be me done until tomorrow afternoon. And the fun part, this is klean-prep. There are 4 sachets of this. I mean, look at it, it's the size of my head. I mean, that's how much I've got to take. See, the size of my head. And there are 4 of these I have to take. And they make up a litre of mega laxatives, and I'm talking mega. As in, you finish one of these and you're pooing water out, and I've got 4 of them to take. So yeah, that's going to be fun, as you can imagine. So yes, so this whole one is about colonoscopies. Still not feeling great, as you can see. Yeah, but it's 6 foot camera up the bum. And the way I think about this, and the way it really confuses me, is that I'm 5'11", so I'm essentially nearly 6 foot, and it's going in my bum. So you can ignore my legs; they must be 2.5 foot of me, maybe 3 foot of me. I don't know. I'm not very good with feet, but surely then if that camera is 6 foot is going up my bum, at least a couple of feet of that should be coming out of my mouth. And that's what really worries me, is that it doesn't. And I don't know, it's just very weird. All the times I've had it before, I went once for my first one was very bad. The first one, because you have to wear the dressing gown. You don't just wear one dressing gown in hospital. If you've not been in hospital recently, you don't just wear one dressing gown because they don't tie up at the back, so you wear 2. So you put one on forwards and they put one on backwards. And so you don't have your bum hanging out, which is very nice of them. And so I was had this on, and the lady comes and puts a little tap in for the drugs in your hand, and I'm sat there in the waiting room with all the old people, because there's always old people in hospitals, and they were kind of looking at me, and I was sat there waiting, just dreading what was about to happen. And I remember these old people kept sort of nudging each other and looking at me, and I kind of thought they were just sort of going, oh, poor lad, he's quite young, look at him, got to have this done, horrible, horrible. But they kept doing it, and some of them kept laughing, and other them were pointing. And I slowly came to realise that they weren't pointing at me, they were pointing at my legs. And I realised that when you have the dressing gowns on, it kind of forms a tube, like a skirt almost, I guess. Or dress, skirt or dress. Is there a difference? I don't know. Anyway, and so when I sat there with my legs apart, as I'm a man, so you sit with your legs apart, you don't do the crossed legs thing, that's very weird, because where does your junk go? You can't do some legs apart, and I realised that the things had formed a tunnel, and ooh, my chair just moved, and they could see everything between my legs. They were laughing at me, and so every year when I go for colonoscopy now, I flash old people, not because I have to, just because it's kind of become a tradition now. I've got to keep that going, and so yeah, I do get nice drugs. That's good. One time I didn't. Because as I went in, they went, oh, do you want the sedation or not? And I laid there, curled up, arse hanging out, old doctor holding a camera that looks a bit like a snake, kind of like that, with lights on the front flashing. And he asked me if I wanted it, and I thought back and went, the last one wasn't that bad. I don't really remember it. Can't have been that bad. So I said no, and regretted it kind of instantly when it felt like he was shoving a 6-foot camera up my arse, which is essentially what he was doing. And they have this crazy rule, which is once they've started, they won't give you any drugs after that. I can't imagine. It's not that difficult. I got the tap in my hand, ready. I was proffering the tap to them, going, drugs, please. Oh. No. Okay. And then there was a time that there was a lady, a Polish lady, and I have no problem with Polish people at all, but it was very odd walking into a room where you expect you kind of expect an old white-haired British doctor who talks with a plummy accent. That's kind of what you imagine. But I walked into a room and there was a Polish lady who couldn't say the word procedure and kept saying procedure and asking me if I was here for the procedure, and yeah, that was a bit odd. Yeah, very odd. So yeah, I'm going to go and in a minute have my last food, and then 4 packets of that. Klean-prep makes you poo. Klean-prep makes you poo. Look, you can even see the ingredients for those who are interested. Each sachet contains microgol, macrogol, and anhydrous-sodium sulfate fur, and sodium bicarbonate fur, and sodium chloride fur. Isn't that what they put in swimming pools? And potassium chloride fur. What's the fur mean? Anyone? And oh, I was going to show you this. Yeah, where is it? This is the picture. They show you what your insides look like. See, there's a picture of your insides. But what I realised is this person's rectum, their bum, there, is below their legs, below their bum. So they've actually got a little bit of their bum coming out of their bum. See? How weird is that? And that's where the liver is, by the way, up there. Except for mine's probably twice that big and goes around like that. Anyway, this has been a slightly informative, slightly boring thing about colonoscopies. But yeah, I might do a special one of these on, maybe not Wednesday when I've had it done, because I'll be out of it, but maybe on Thursday, and tell you how it went, quite possibly. And you can see the difference on my face. I'll probably be walking like a cowboy, and with just this permanent expression of shock on my face. Which isn't good, because when they've got a scope that can go down holes, if you open your mouth too wide, they just tend to go for any hole they can get. It's not good. Not good at all. Anyway, bye-bye random people. I'm going to go and sit on the toilet for 6 hours. I hope you have a better day than me. Bye-bye random people.